On this episode, we're going to talk all about those double exposed dragons and their Veilguards. That sounds really bad. I'm not going to do that.
Let's
double
go!
exposed, or do we keep it? Welcome to JK Games, the gaming podcast where we bring you the gaming news we care about.
And maybe some that we don't.
And whether you play on easy mode,
or you like a good challenge.
This is a show where we'll try to level up your gaming knowledge. Knowledge, Dragon Age, Veilguard.
Be strange and
I couldn't roll that one in. It just kept going. I was trying to make that sound more of a song. Yeah.
Who are you?
I'm Jerica.
This?
Okay. Oh, hello. I'm Jerica. I'm one of the hosts on this fabulous video game podcast, and I'm joined by. Who are you?
Kayla. I'm here. It's been a while. I'm your other host here on JK Games. We had a great guest last week with Jerica. I was on vacation, and we have a lot of special things going on in this episode. Not only is it our 150th episode, which is crazy to say. Jerica, I don't know about you. I feel like that's wild. It's gone by so fast.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you normally celebrate these milestones? Like, for real? I just noticed the last episode, like, ooh, this 150 is going to be the next one. And I didn't even think to text you or be like, oh my God, guess what? I just remembered when we were about to go live. I was like, hey, by the way, which technically is not posted yet. We'll get to this and I'll let Kayla do the housekeeping in just a second. But I haven't posted the episode where we had Madeline on. I'm going to do that in the next couple of days, hopefully tomorrow. But that's episode 149. So don't worry if I'm and you're like, oh no, she's lying. I'm not. This is officially episode 150.
I don't think we're big enough yet to have fact checkers. But
I hope so. I'm ready. As soon as we have anyone fact checking us or writing fan fiction, that's what I know about us. You know it's probably going to happen. It happens to the best of the co-hosts that are out there doing stuff. I'm here for it. Well, you know, that's how we know we've made it. But like Jerica said, we've got some housekeeping to do. It's been a while since me and her have done an episode together. Let's go ahead and it's been a while since I've done this too. Do it.
Do. Loadout.
We're in
load up and load out. It's our housekeeping. We got a lot to cover. We've both been on several different podcasts, and it's our first time coming back together. It's actually our first time coming back together to do an episode, just me and Jerica, since this is what she's going to do full time. How excited are you, Jerica? It's been like 2 weeks. How does it feel?
It feels weird still because like I'm trying to understand like when. So it's hard to figure out for me right now how much time I need to spend on certain things because I think, doing show notes or doing making an image or whatever for sharing on Twitter or whatever, or fixing the audio for the podcast. I think, those things are so easy that will take me just like a couple hours. But no, that's a lie. A lot of this stuff, now that I'm like leaning into it being better quality, I realize my skill set's a little out of there, outside of where it should be. So I spent like literally one of my days like just messing with audio and the mix software that allows me to do stuff a little easier when we're streaming. But yeah, I sort of misjudge how much time I need. So like measuring my own productivity is what I'm discovering. And on top of that, when I get into something, it's really hard for me to turn it off or like stop doing it. So like my first day, like working from home and doing this, I think I spent like longer than a normal work day. It was definitely longer than 8 hours just messing and doing all kinds of stuff just because I was so excited. So trying to balance. And like if we do a show, like what preparation do I need to have done and by what time? How long should I spend on this said process? So, and I think it's okay not to have the answer to that right now because I'm trying to figure out how good I am at getting it done efficiently. If any of that makes sense.
It does. Speaking of audio, CC did say my mic is coming in a little bit loud.
Okay, I can fix that.
I don't know how easy that is to adjust.
Because I took like 8 hours one day just to work on this. It's so easy.
You're a pro.
I'm a pro. You should be a little less loud now.
Cool. Well, I'm super proud of you, first of all. Like, we haven't really... My mom is in the chat and said she's loud. Thanks, Nancy. Very nice of you. But I'm super proud of you, Jerica, and I couldn't be happier that you're getting to do what you love and getting to do it full time, and that we get to do this together still after 150 episodes. So I think it's like a big milestone to like celebrate together. We're happy that you guys are here. A lot of you guys have been around for a long time, which is really awesome. And we have a lot of love in the chat already today. High Score Weekly has given away 2 subs, which is awesome and getting us a lot closer to our goal. And then we have the Dan Good Show in the chat. We have Billy the Brewer. We have CC, as always, super supportive. Lots of love going on. You should, getting back to our housekeeping, everyone should, if you want to, go follow us on our other platforms where we'll be talking about what Jerica is working on, various streams, because both of us are going to be trying to stream more gameplay as we play games that are coming out, which we'll be talking about more today. JK Games Podcast on everything: Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. Somebody asked in the chat earlier if we were going to be live on TikTok. I don't think we technically are right now, but we're going to get that figured out to where we're just live on everything. So no matter where you want to watch us, you can watch us. I think we settled...
I might have to do that on my end, maybe.
Yeah.
Dang it.
It's okay. It's fine. We're like Jerica was saying, we're in the progress of figuring a lot of things out, making some changes, but all good things, all exciting things. Go follow us on all of those things. Whatever you use the most, we're on there at JK Games Podcast. If you're watching us live right now on Twitch, hit the little bell notification to get notified when we go live, so that every single time we do, you'll get notified. I think we settled on Mondays is the day we're going to be live with the video and the podcast going up later in the week. So definitely keep an eye out for Monday evenings.
Eventually we'll have a set day. Like, hopefully I just post it after we do the show, or the next morning it's live. So just eventually it'll be a little bit more timely. So
yeah. As far as other housekeeping things, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but Madeline Stanley joined Jerica to talk about her time with the Kind of Funny crew while she was there as the Kind of Funny up and comer. And that's what you did with them too, Jerica, right?
No, it's a little bit different. Like, she spent,
a little bit different.
Yeah. Well, luckily I was just going to be in the area. So he invited me to be on Kind of Funny Games Daily, like a couple days. But for Madeline, she was invited to stay for a whole week.
Oh,
so
wow.
It was really cool
That's
to
really cool.
hear about all the things she got to do and see and be a part of. Definitely check it out as soon as I post it. I haven't posted it yet, but it's still live on Twitch. Yes.
Yeah. Go check it out if you want to watch that. She was really great. You should follow her on all of her things too. I was also on with the guys at Spotlight Games and CC in the chat as well. And Maury, I forget his exact... No, Maury wasn't on that one, actually. But we talked about mental health in video games, something very near and dear to my heart. And I spent a lot of discussion with them that was really great. All of them really opened up and had a great discussion around it. So you could go check that out. We'll have the links to all this in the description as well. That is on Spotlight Games Podcast. And then we also, Jerica and I had a really fun time in our annual scary stream, which we do every year around Halloween time, and we pick like a scary game. You know, we both love horror games a lot, so we picked Don't Scream. Jerica found this game. It was actually really dope. The developer was in our chat while we were playing the game. Yeah, so random, so cool. But definitely go check that out. The video on demand will be on YouTube soon, but it is still up on Twitch as well. And we have a clip on our Instagram if you want a little teaser. But yeah, that's our housekeeping. I am happy to be talking with Jerica. I have to share. I know I've been talking a lot. Jerica's going to talk after this. Jerica, can I tell you this story really quick?
Tell me the story.
It's relevant.
Okay.
But I was getting ready. I was so excited. I was like, I'm going to hop on early. So I know Jerica's been working on new setup stuff. Like, let me hop in there and get on early. I was like, oh crap, where's my AirPods? Found my AirPods. And I'm a little technologically challenged, right? So I have steps that I take to prep for like because I normally use my headset pictured for gaming, and I don't like wearing them when we're doing the podcast because I feel like it's just like bulky.
I don't like to do it either. I don't think it's as visually stunning, and I like to be stunning when I'm on camera.
Yes, that's exactly.
Me too. Classy, and I'm wearing a backwards cap though. Just whatever. I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm joking.
I'm not. I'm just kidding. But yeah. I was getting my AirPods and I had made sure I charged them and all that. And I automatically it's going to try to connect them to my phone. So I turned my Bluetooth off my phone and my MacBook so it wouldn't automatically connect to them. And so I put them in and it's not connecting to my PC. And I'm like, that's weird. And so I'm going into my settings. I'm trying to like forget and re-add, do all the things that I know how to do. And I put my AirPods in. And I've already turned off Bluetooth on all of the other devices that I have. So I don't know where this is coming from. But I put my AirPods in and Girlfriend by Avril Lavigne is playing. I don't know. I don't know why or from where. And at first I was like, I thought you were pranking me or something. But I wasn't even in the lobby yet. And I hear, hey, you, I don't like your girlfriend. I'm like, what?
It's my favorite song.
I was like, what's happening? Also, yeah, High Score Weekly is literally popping off in the chat with these bits and the subs. And also, hello, Still Loading Pod. Thank you for joining. We have also done an episode with them before, and that was really fun. But yeah, I don't know what happened. I called in Hunter, my husband. I was like, are my AirPods connecting to your phone? Are you listening to Avril Lavigne? Is it you? And no, I have no idea. No device in my whole house was playing Avril Lavigne, Jerica. But my AirPods.
Well, you still don't know?
I don't know. Still,
what the hell? I thought you'd have the answer. That's creepy.
I don't have the answer. And
that's
so
freaky.
Not my computer.
Who's listening to Avril? Yeah, Ghost Avril. Still loading says Ghost Avril. Yes.
Where are you, Avril? Because she's not here. I don't know. It was so strange. And I called my husband and I was like, listen to this. Because I feel like I'm going crazy. I need someone else to experience this. And he couldn't figure it out.
Man.
So that's my funny story for the day.
Well, I like it, but I'm sort of concerned there's not a resolution to why and what thing is playing that song. Weird.
I don't know, man. Well, but I'll keep you updated as time goes on to see if we can figure it out. But spooky season has passed, Jerica.
Well, it's time to be thankful for Avril Lavigne. So,
if I've seen the Thank You Beyonce stuff. Online.
I did do that. Avril. Yeah, maybe next time when you connect your AirPods, there would be like a little message from Avril.
Skater Boy will be playing instead.
Yeah, that'd be. Boy. Then you definitely have some kind of haunting going on, even though I don't think Avril, she's alive. She's still alive.
Yeah, she is alive.
Just because we haven't seen her in the news recently doesn't mean she's, gone from this world.
Yeah.
Unless
Absolutely
we see in the news, I hope nothing ever happens to her. But if we see in the news that, there is a conspiracy that with her, that she died and was replaced by an actor.
Have you never heard that?
No, I actually haven't.
Yeah.
Now
it's very...
now I'm extra freaked out, Kayla. This is weird.
Yeah.
What the heck?
I don't know. It is an anticlimactic story, but I just wanted everyone to know, and I needed you to know because this happened. That's why I was late. Also, I know this sounds like an elaborate plan to tell you why I was late to join the Discord.
No, definitely believe you.
But I would love to go ahead and put Avril to rest. May she rest alive in peace and not in my ears from none of my devices. No offense, but I don't listen to her on a regular basis. So I was like, I have no idea where she's coming from.
Very strange.
But I would love to know what you're playing. Obviously, today, if you're new, also we lay our episodes out in we got easy mode, we got normal mode, and we got expert mode. Today we do have all three, so I would love to talk to Jerica in our easy mode about what have you been playing, aside from obviously Dragon Age, which we'll be talking about later for our expert mode.
Yeah, besides Dragon Age, not too much, but I've recently, I'm in this group chat, a couple of different group chats for game-related things, and one of the other chats we're part of, yes, for Destiny mainly, but we're all big Pokemon fans, so we have been playing a lot of the new, let's see, Pokemon trading card game, the app. Oh. I don't know why I called it the app. The game on my phone.
Okay.
And it's been sort of dangerous because I don't know if I've talked about this on the show. Like, I went through a big like addiction to buying Pokemon cards when they like were popping off and everybody else was also buying them. It hit a high at some point.
Yeah.
It's probably with the 25th or 20th, one of the anniversary, like they reprinted a lot of old cards. That's when I got back into it. Since then, I've sort of gotten away because it's a slippery slope for me. Just keep buying and spending money I shouldn't. Well, luckily, there's a game now that's out that I can play and digitally collect Pokemon cards without spending any money, but you can spend money. But luckily, I'm pretty big on not spending money in games. In game, like what is it called? Where you spend
in-app purchases?
In-app purchases, whatever. But the game is awesome. Of course, you can buy more gold. I don't know, Pokegold, and get more opportunities to open packs. But you can open 2 packs, I believe, daily. Just, without having to spend real money. But I've been completing missions and getting more currency so I can actually buy more packs. I don't know. I haven't really played enough to like know the rotation. I just usually open some digital packs, collect my Pokemon cards, and put it away. But also you can play like the card game with your friends or online. And yeah, it's been a good time. And I'm trying to collect as many shinies as I can, holographic cards.
What's it called?
I think it's Pokemon trading card game. Like,
I think that's it. I'm downloading it right now.
It's been perfect in between, like, if I just need to go grab something to drink, go to the bathroom, go poop. I'm going to open up some digital cards.
Cracking packs on the toilet.
Yeah, and it's been convenient to look at that. You can go back to Dragon Age. But yeah, I think I was reading today, like, just in the few days it's been live, they've made like $12 million.
Wow.
It's insane. So yes,
that's crazy.
Very popular. And I love being able to share with my friends like what cards I'm getting. So if you are a big Pokemon card collector or even a fan of Pokemon Go, it's obviously a different type of game. You should definitely check this one out.
Yeah, I actually missed this because we have had so many games come out recently and are having so many continue to come out. I literally completely missed this. So that's really cool. I'm glad you're enjoying that.
They're not getting $12 million from me because I'm not spending money in it yet. I'm trying to resist. But those in-app purchases are available for you to open more packs daily. And
that would be really tough for me.
I'm not going to do it.
That would be tough.
Not going to do it.
I'm a loot box addict in recovery.
I get it. Like when there's a cool skin or something else, like it's very tempting to buy money or spend money on digital things that's in a game.
So. Yeah. CC said, Jerica, we got to add each other on their battle when you poop or whatever.
Yes. Battle poops are my favorite time now. Like good old battle poop.
Anything else you've been playing?
Just Dragon Age, yeah. And
nice.
I cannot wait to get into it later. Kayla, I cannot wait.
She's committed. She is committed.
I am.
I love it.
What about you?
I have been playing mainly Life is Strange across the board because we'll discuss more in our main topic where I'll expand on my thoughts, but I was trying to catch up on playing the games that I have not completed. I've played a decent amount of the Life is Strange franchise at this point. I was playing Life is Strange 2 actually for majority of the time before I went on vacation. I was on vacation technically when Double Exposure launched. I've only been back recently, so I haven't had a ton of game time in it. But before I was playing Life is Strange 2, which follows two characters that are, this is not a spoiler, that are not in, it's kind of like a side story. Really amazing game. Have you played Life is Strange 2?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I didn't think I was going to like it as much because I'm like, the girls aren't in it. Like,
the girls.
How can I not have a game without the girls that I went on this journey with the first time, depending on your ending. But I will say, I was really captured by their story from the get-go because it is very emotional and you get really connected to the brothers.
Yeah.
And yeah, that it was it ended up being a really good game. I'm glad that game happened. Yeah. I am curious on an opinion that I want from you later. Don't let me forget, or I won't forget. I always say that, but then I'm like, I shouldn't ask people to remind me things. That's what I have my phone for. So
I haven't finished it yet. So I did put it on pause because I did a little bit of research, and I did read that it wasn't 100% necessary to play this one before Double Exposure. And I really wanted to give my thoughts like on an episode of Double Exposure. So I put a pause on Life is Strange 2. I think I'm on episode 4 of 8. So I'm about halfway. But I will be returning for sure because the story of these two brothers like really got to me, and like it's a different in a lot of ways from the rest of the franchise, but it's so good, and like what we know and love about Life is Strange is still like definitely woven throughout that. And then the other game that I was playing in my spooky season era was Little Nightmares 2. And I love Little Nightmares. I loved the first game. The second game is just as great. You're following your little kid main character who is silent and doesn't speak, and it's very unique gameplay. It's like I guess technically like side scroller. I don't know if that's the right word.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a mix. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's really good. Basically, like you're lost and trying to get home, but there's a lot of like really cool puzzles. And it's spooky. It's creepy. I streamed a little bit of it. I still haven't finished it either. Y'all know how I am. It's hard.
Picked it up too. There's a third one, I think, about to come out. If it's not already out now, I can't remember.
I think it came out recently. Like really recently, which is part of the reason why I wanted to play the second one. But I really enjoyed my time with it so far. I haven't beat it. Little Nightmares 3, it got delayed. It was supposed to come out this year, and it comes out next year. So it just says 2025. No exact date, but I will, mark my words, finish the second one before the third one comes out. You can quote me on that. The Dan Good Show dropped his friend code in
I took a
chat.
screenshot.
If anybody wants to add him, I'm going to pin that for a second.
Or add him later for sure.
But yeah, so that's my experience so far, Jerica, of what I've been playing aside from Double Exposure. So that's our easy mode, all wrapped up in a little bow.
We should start saying that.
That was easy.
That was easy. I need a challenge.
Cute. Speaking of challenge, Jerica, lead us to our normal mode.
Where we talk about the video game news of the week.
Yes.
So I did pull an article that I was really excited to read. I'm so ready to read this. Yes, there's Dragon Age in the title, but there's another game in the title. Okay. So this article is called Dragon Age: The Veilguard won't have DLC. Team is now focused on Mass Effect 5 for the first time. It's a Dragon Age with no DLC, and this is from Maddie Myers at Polygon. After what appears to have been quite a successful launch for Dragon Age Veilguard, the Veilguard, which broke player count records for BioWare and EA games on Steam during its launch day, fans could have reasonably expected to see more from the game's colorful cast of characters. Every other Dragon Age game has had post-launch DLC content, often with big story implications, such as Dragon Age Inquisition's DLC called Trespasser. Featuring the heel turn from companion character Solas. I know how to say his name, but for some reason when I say it out loud, it's always a little extra. Anyways, that set him up. Spoiler alert, but this game came out like 10 years ago that set him up to be the antagonist of what is now the Veilguard. So that DLC set that up. In a surprising break with tradition, however, creative director at BioWare John Epler told Rolling Stone that there is no DLC coming for the game. Instead, the report reads that developers have their full attention now has shifted to the next Mass Effect game as their current project. Polygon also had a recent chat with him as well, and Corinne Bush, also game director Corinne Bush. If I'm butchering her name, I'm so sorry. And they emphasize that the team's goals will be pointed to this focus. The main thing for them is that important that this game felt like the most complete story we're going to tell. Talking about Veilguard. To be honest with you, we're wholly focused on that right now. There's been a lot of effort to make sure that is a complete adventure. So,
how do you feel?
I feel great about that. I love
I'm
that.
Sure you do.
They're just moving on right along to Mass Effect, of course. And I can, we'll get into it later, but based on what I've played of Dragon Age so far, like, it seems like I was a little nervous to look up how long it's going to take to beat it. But I think Audrey finally looked up from somewhere, like, if you do most of the side quests or whatever, it can get into the 80 hours of time spent in Veilguard. So listen, and I don't know about you, but it takes a lot for me to get to play DLC. I'm not a huge DLC gal. Are you?
No. I'm not. And there is a couple people in the chat that are upset about it, which I get. High Score Weekly said, I like DLC. And then the Dan Good Show did say, me too. I'm a little bummed.
I will say this. They're not wrong.
Yeah.
Let me speak to this. I did play all the DLC for Mass Effect. So I get it. I do get. I'm just by the preface on this. I've played Dragon Age couple games, and I did play Inquisition, never beat them. I'm definitely more of the Mass Effect fan group.
Yeah.
Dragon Age is cool. I love it. I'm glad it's out. I'm glad it's a thing. We'll get to it later. But yeah, I can see where you're coming from. If I think about the Mass Effect DLC, yeah, that is a big bummer not to have it. So, sorry. Yeah. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I guess it makes sense thinking of it in that aspect. Like, if it's one of you, imagine if Naughty Dog was like, oh, we're not going to do Last of Us Part 2 DLC. Instead, we're going to do...
happened. That basically happened, because there was a little bit of DLC for the first game. So not having that extra for Naughty Dog, good connection. Yeah, it was disappointing.
Yeah, but even if they said, they made a statement that was like, oh, instead of this, we're going to do this, I could see how that would be disappointing, right? Of course. Yeah. But I guess it really just depends on what your preference is. But for me, even I'm trying to think of I've never really been in a situation where I've wanted to play the DLC. I'm not a big DLC gal. I think I would be if it was an option for me in some of my favorite games of all time. Yeah. Most of my games that are my favorite games of all time have not had that offering as an option. But even The Last of Us, I didn't play the DLC until recently from the first one. None of the extra stuff. I'm normally not a completionist, so that usually includes DLC. So, yeah. Well, but yeah, I know you're excited though about that Mass Effect 5.
I'm so ready. I'm so ready for Mass Effect, the next Mass Effect game to come out. I just want to play that game before I'm 40. That would be amazing. And yeah, I don't know. This can be another topic. I don't want to go on a rant because I always do it with BioWare. Changing lanes with. I'm gonna hold this off. I'm gonna hold off till the end. I'm not gonna get into it yet. I'm gonna pause the trade, but I have more to add to this conversation that will be added later. Kayla,
we'll put a pin in it. Revisit.
There's a movie that's coming later that I'm really excited about. We should go see it together. Yeah. You want to tell us about it?
Let's talk about it, because I'm gonna be honest. I saw this and I was like, you know what? That actually might slap. I'm interested. Oregon Trail is the next game getting a blockbuster movie adaptation. It goes Oregon and on.
I love that title.
Vicky Blake from Eurogamer, an action comedy movie based on the superlative Oregon Trail is on the way. I know there's going to be plenty of people that are excited for that. Jerica, have you played the Oregon Trail game?
I played a lot of different versions, but
Yeah.
most recently, yes, the one on my iPhone. It's actually a great rendition of the game.
I haven't played that one. Is it on like Apple Arcade?
I think so. I can look it up while you're reading.
Dan Good Show said Oregona go to the movies.
There we go.
And then the High School Weekly also said the iOS one is good. But as detailed by Hollywood Reporter, the film will be developed by Apple with Will Speck and Josh Gordon on board to direct and produce. I don't know anything about them. They sound like good people. Slated to include a number of the original music tracks in the vein of Barbie. The music will be provided by Benj Pasek and Justin Paul, who recently secured an Emmy for their work on Only Murders in the Building, which I have not watched, but I've heard is fantastic.
Watch the first season. It is fantastic. I'm so glad it's just over now. I think it's ended, so I can go back and binge it.
If you're not familiar, the Oregon Trail is a 1980s strategy game in which the player leads a wagon down the Oregon Trail from Independence, Missouri to Willamette Valley, Oregon in 1848. So the copyright for the game currently sits with the book publisher, actually.
Interesting.
Fun book plug in here.
Yeah.
HarperCollins. High School Weekly said Billie Eilish dysentery track. That's funny. No, as of yet, no stars have been attached to the project. No release window has been confirmed. We just got mention of it, basically. So that's really exciting to hear. I'm down to go see it. Let's go see it together, Jerica. Let's give a review.
I would love to. I got dysentery. That's what I can't wait for someone to say they have dysentery. Like, that is what I'm waiting for. Parking the wagon off to the left so I can hunt. I want to see what actors, actresses like bring these characters to life. I'm sure that it's
Chris Pratt.
It can absolutely. First gentleman I thought about just, leading the way on the wagon. Is that how you drive a wagon? Mush. That's for sled dogs, I think, but whatever. Might work for a horse. Yeah, let's go see it.
Oh my gosh. So also on the same topic of silver screen, Sony's live action movie adaptation of Until Dawn is, speaking of like movie adaptations, is going to hit the screen next year, April 25th. I'm really excited about that too.
I don't think they've confirmed if it's going to be like based on the game story or a whole new type of story. I don't know.
I don't know either, but Sony is doing a lot, and we haven't had a chance to talk about what they're doing most recently. And I think there was some news that recently came out. Jerica, if you want to talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
Segue.
Something I should thank you. It was a beautiful segue. I just sort of dropped the ball. You had me excited. I'm also just a very gullible person. I'm like, oh yeah, what is it? Is it another cool movie? No. Yes. PlayStation, the PS5 Pro is coming out, which reminds me, did you give our sponsor a read?
No, I forgot about this episode's sponsor.
Yeah.
This show is brought to you by
Thank you.
Our show friend Dallas.
Our friend of the show. Sorry, that's a typo on my end.
Our friend of the show, Dallas, who was lucky enough to secure a 30th anniversary PS5 Pro, selling it to Jerica at retail cost, which is rarity these days. So thank you, Dallas, for sponsoring this show.
Yes, that's how he's sponsoring it. Okay, back to the news. Sorry, Kayla, just that reminded me. All right. So I pulled an article that was out like a few weeks ago, maybe even a month ago, because we haven't had a show together where we've actually broke down like the PS5 Pro together live. So I pulled an article with a first impression that someone had, and we sort of goes into like some of the, what does all the text speak mean? When Mark Cerny talks, we sort of get lost in the shuffle. I know I do. His voice is really beautiful too, so it's velvety smooth. Beautiful. You might fall asleep though, because it's very relaxing, and I don't know what he's talking about. So I had someone on the internet write an article. Well, I didn't have them. I found an article that breaks it down for us. And then we'll talk about it later, but some games had got announced now that will be optimized to work for with the PS5 Pro. All right, here's the article. This is what I've learned playing Sony's PS5 Pro. This is from Scott Stein at CNET. Here we go. I went to Sony's PlayStation headquarters in San Mateo, California, and spent time in a room full of TVs, all running demos of similar games such as Ratchet and Clank and Spider-Man 2. These demos were all playing on the new PS5 Pro. Mark Cerny was even there. Guided me. I'm talking the perspective of this guy that got hands-on, by the way. I know I could be really believable. Mark Cerny guided me around the demos, pointing out the Pro upgrades compared to the standard PS5, on a side-by-side monitor so you can see the difference. And as I jumped back and forth, I could see it. Everything is crisper, more fluid, or both. I would prefer to play on the PS5 Pro. With a non-Pro PS5 available, though, for $500, maybe less likely during upcoming holiday season, I don't know. But sometimes subtle upgrades will be worth the price for many. The PS5 Pro is all about making big TV gaming a happier experience. It's a souped-up GPU, promises more ray tracing, fluid 4K, and 60 FPS gaming across the board for games that get a Pro upgrade, and automatic AI upscaling for other games in the PlayStation library. Everything the PS5 Pro offers is about graphics. The CPU is the same as the PS5, and so is the SSD speed. The GPU, meanwhile, has 64% more computing cores, according to Sony, with 28% faster RAM and 45% more faster rendering. Those,
that's a lot of cores.
Those are three big initial upgrades Sony is specifically pushing on for the Pro, and for what that new GPU is doing: more ray tracing, the AI assisted upscaling, and then that will combine 60 FPS and 4K together. An AI-assisted upscaling mode, you ready for this? It's called PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. That works across the whole game library. Yeah, super resolution. It works across the whole game library, but requires games to update via a patch, adding in details to upscale to 4K. It'll also work on PSVR 2 games in the future. The planned 40 to 50 games, which got announced today, by the way, that get the PS5 Pro upgrades at the hardware's launch on November 7th will focus on 4K and 60 FPS across the board. So there's a laundry, they put here, there's a laundry list of different graphic boosts, including new volumetric lighting and effects, richer graphics, more on-screen background characters, and some modes that can ramp up to 120 FPS. That's the article. I know that still might have been over some folks' head, is at times a little over mine, but I wanted to share with you and just sort of talk about what are the reasons why, are there some good reasons why you should get a PS5 Pro. I know a lot of people, similar to the PS4 Pro, I didn't hop on the chance right away. But based on what I was reading, I knew I wanted to get one, but I didn't know if I was going to get it at launch until they had the 30th anniversary version. That's what actually got me, Kayla. So they were smart with that one, but those are super limited. They were super limited. But yeah, and the reason I picked this article, one, so we could talk about it, but also the list came out today. So
it's extensive.
There's a lot. I'm so excited because Dragon Age Veilguard's on there. So immediately be able to see the update with that. Star Wars Outlaws, that was a recent game. Our favorite, Last of Us, The Last of Us. Part 1 and part 2.
I need to cry in super resolution.
Exactly. Same. Need to see it. But yeah, a lot of titles from PlayStation that we know and love, and then some other third-party AAA titles as well. So Call of Duty Black Ops 6, of course. Got to get my Call of Duties in there. Make some duties with my super resolutions. Anyways, but yeah, $700 is a lot for a new console. So
it is, yeah.
I don't see everyone jumping on the bandwagon right away. And probably another 3 to 4 years until there's a PlayStation 6. I don't know. That's about the time frame. So luckily, sponsor of the show, Dallas, hooked me up. So I have to commit to getting it now. But
Right.
hope to hear from me shortly. And I will let y'all know my experience with the PS5 Pro and how much resolution I see in my games. Kayla,
That's exciting.
are you going to get a PS5 Pro?
I'm not. And I'll tell you why. And I never did I ever think I would be here, sitting here telling you today that I cannot tell you the last time I played on my PlayStation. F in chat for a PlayStation for me.
Well, I'm going to say this.
Small violin.
You're already on the bandwagon of what everyone else is saying. Like, just get a PC. You will get more frames for your bits, and then all that will work. So, that's fine. Like, I think the upgrades are for the enthusiasts that love the console experience. But I just like you and a few other people, like, I don't see a lot of people jumping on in our circle to get one of these just yet.
And I could see, like, especially from the 30th anniversary edition, like that, I was tempted by that, but I knew I wasn't ready for the fight to get said special edition. But I'm not a hater. Like, I see the benefit of it, especially like you said, if you are like diehard in the console. And, I did think about, like I mentioned to Hunter, my husband does play on PlayStation like exclusively. And I was like, does this interest you? Like, and he was like, I think I'll just probably wait. When does it actually launch, Jerica?
Comes out on November 7th, Mass Effect Day.
November 7th. Oh.
Maybe they'll have the next Mass Effect game just come with it. Psych, they've been working on it the whole time.
It launches with it.
In the game. It's built inside because it doesn't have a disk drive.
Exactly. Yeah, I was gonna say, is there an option with a disk drive or no? For
you have to buy an external disk drive for it.
Wow.
Well, the system too. It's like I've heard some people have them now, like reviewers or whatever, but there are certain things they can't share just yet. I think they were able to take it out of the box today. There's like specific rules, I guess, for them embargo things that they can share.
Wow.
And it's small. Like, it's not like as small as the Slim, but it's close to the Slim. So way smaller than what the current size of the PS5 is. So, which I don't have a Slim, I just have the regular one.
Yeah. I like a good small little console. GameCube. Yeah. If you gave me a handle on that PlayStation 5 Pro, sold.
Just need a handle. Just put a handle on it.
Put a handle on it. A couple of things from our chat. You guys are popping off, so thank you for continuing that hype. Game Over Cholo subscribed or resubscribed, so thank you for that. Said, I'm so excited for the Pro. I haven't been able to pre-order in Mexico. I got my therapy right now, but wanted to say hi. First of all, love that you're shouting out therapy in the chat.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it. I guess international is not available yet, I guess. So that's sad, but hopefully you're able to get it when it is available. But thank you for watching. Thank you for resubscribing.
I'll keep you updated and see if it's worth your monies.
Yeah. Dan Good Show said Veilguard getting the update is what sealed it for me buying it on PS5. Normally I go Xbox for third party. Huh?
Oh, interesting. Okie dokie.
That's really cool. High Score Weekly said I use my PS5 as a Blu-ray player.
Nice.
Can't give up physical
media
yet.
But it's still not even a good Blu-ray player, though. Didn't learn that until recently. I went down a rabbit hole with Blu-ray, like wanting to watch certain things in 4K Ultra Blu-ray, and the PlayStation will play it, but the audio you're limited in some aspects. Anyways,
yeah, I agree because I have also used it for a Blu-ray player. Which
they should put the best Blu-ray player in it. Sorry, I'm going on a rant.
They should, but then you would have to really use your external hard drive a lot. And does that dilute like the quality at all? Like having it be an external drive or no? I don't know anything about resolution, how that works.
But. No, I think it would be fine. I think even at the regular price, I'm just hating on PlayStation now. Now I'm being a hater because I'm like, y'all should put a better Blu-ray player in the system. The ones with the drive, you should do that.
I agree, especially like with the price point, you should be able to get it for sure. Wild World said, I use my Xbox as my media center, but play everything on my PS5. That is a good workaround for sure. Lay from Lunch said PS5 Blu-ray is so disappointing. Are there updates on that front with the Pro?
Well, there's no disk drive on it, but unless the external, let me look at this external disk drive here. Hold on. Everyone hold your horses. Did Nancy have an opinion?
No, but CC said if you like it, then you should have put a handle on it. Beyonce, probably.
Oh, we need that on a shirt now. Oh, that was good.
Oh my gosh, so good.
PS5 Pro disk drive.
I did not think that this is where the direction would be going with the concerns around the PS5 Pro, but I love that we got here.
I'm just pissed off they didn't put a great Blu-ray player in the PS5 to begin with. I had to buy... I bought a Blu-ray player recently, Kayla.
From where?
From Best Buy. Because the PlayStation Blu-ray player doesn't play the movies in the right formats that I paid good money for this disc. And it won't even play it on the highest quality. Audio's not great. Like,
it's unfortunate.
I was mad when I discovered this. I was like, oh yeah, I just got my PlayStation. No, it won't do all the fancy things. Well, I found another article. This is called Gear Patrol. Never heard of them.
Okay. Hopefully they're a trusted source.
In this digital age, appeal of physical media isn't going anywhere. We're reminded of the fact that over and over again, blah, 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 blah. The latest example comes from an unexpected source, the newest PlayStation 5 console. But it's missing one thing, a built-in disk drive, prompting prospective buyers to purchase Sony's detachable disk drive accessory.
Oh, they sell their own?
Yes, detachable, yeah, and you can snap it on there. And
of course.
I'm trying to see...
brief intermission.
I'm looking to see if it has, like... No one is talking. I need the specs on this disk drive and how good of it. It's not. I can already tell you it's not a great.
Probably not. Yeah.
Blu-ray enthusiasts, I see you. I've learned about you recently, and yeah, it's disappointing. Sorry. I'll get off my
Weekly
soapbox right now.
Can I? Apparently, people agree with you, Jerica. Can I use my PS5 as a disk drive for my PS5 Pro?
Great question. I don't see why not. Like, hook it up, see if it works. Haha. It probably does, and they don't even want us to know about it. So
they don't want you to know. But you know what I want you to know?
What?
I want you to know how good Life is Strange Double Exposure is.
Oh my God, are we going to expert mode now?
Yes, we are. Expert
mode.
Go. Let's go. Don't worry, we are not going to be talking spoilers about the 2 brand new games that just released that we are going to be talking about. We do have a fact checker in the chat, so I think we have made it, Jerica.
Okay.
Because really quick, back to our original point. Dan Good Show from PlayStation Direct, play PlayStation 5 games in a vast back catalog of supported PS4 titles on Blu-ray disc. Enjoy watching movies and shows on 4K Ultra. Okay. That's for the ad on the drive itself. Interesting. It says 4K Ultra.
Okay.
Huh.
Does it, I just wonder if it supports Atmos.
Good question.
Well, there was something when I was trying... Listen, I was trying to watch The Last of Us Season 1. I bought it off Amazon, the Blu-ray Ultra, when I could just watch it on HBO, but I wanted the pure quality of a Blu-ray disc, Ultra 4K.
Yeah.
And something on the PlayStation was not allowing me, the PS5, to watch it. Sorry. Okay, I'm done. I'm off topic. We'll get a professional in here. Cody, friend of the show as well, is an expert. Went down the same rabbit hole with me.
To talk about, we can talk about physical Blu-ray media.
That can talk about how it works. Sorry.
Late from Lunch said re-rail, which I love. That's perfect. But I am wanting to definitely discuss Life is Strange. I have a couple things. I haven't played a ton. I'll go ahead and let you know. I did stream some of it yesterday. If you wanted to watch, you can rewatch it on Twitch. Not really many spoilers in that stream that I did because we're really just in the very beginning. Like I'm not even technically, I think I'm almost finished with chapter 1 or episode 1. Life is Strange is episodic. I believe that they did not do like a slow release this time.
I'm on the Dragon Age video. Hold on.
I'll have to any fact checkers in the chat, let me know if you can. But I don't think that they're doing like an episodic release with this one like they have in the past, where they'll release like the first episode of the game and then they'll wait some time and then release the rest. I don't believe that's how they're doing this one. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it did. Life is Strange Double Exposure did just release on October 29th, so it's been out only a few days. So Square Enix is who is over it, but specifically Deck 9 is a developer on this one. You are correct. Thank you, CC, in the chat. Deck 9 actually is the developer behind Double Exposure. If you're not familiar, there is 2 different studios that mainly do Life is Strange games. There's Deck 9 and there's Don't Nod. Deck 9 specifically made True Colors and Before the Storm, Life is Strange Before the Storm, whereas Don't Nod made the original Life is Strange 2, and is actually the one making Lost Records that's coming out next year.
Yes. It got
delayed to next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Friend of the show, Jake Twitchin, is actually currently streaming chapter 4 or episode 4. So if you are wanting to follow along, if you don't care to be spoiled, definitely check him out. That is a way. Thank you, CC, for letting me know that it is all out and ready to view and play. It is absolutely incredible. Just going ahead and putting my thoughts out there forefront. I've been a fan of the franchise for a while. Recently, as far as the ones that I personally completed, I have played the original Life is Strange, Life is Strange Before the Storm, in the process of completing Life is Strange 2, and I've also played True Colors, and I have also played some of Don't Nod's other game. Oh gosh, what's it called? I can't even remember. I guess that tells you how impactful it was to me.
Captain Sparrow, which is never not it. Captain Spirit.
Captain Spirit, not that one. No, Don't Nod came out with another game, Vanishers.
Also,
what's it called?
New Eden.
Yes, Ghost of New Eden. That's what it is. Vanishers, Ghost of New Eden.
I feel like one of the studios made that. Tell Me Why. That was a never.
Yes,
I picked it up, but I never got fully into it.
It's actually free on Steam, and it is made by Don't Nod. Yes.
Okay. Yes.
I have it downloaded. I have not played that one, but Banishers Ghost of Eden. I said Banishers. That's so funny. I did actually start playing it, and I enjoyed it. It's just a little bit slower. It's more of like a mystery type game. It's you play as a ghost, like banisher, essentially. It's like early 19th century, and you go in and you're in this town and you're trying to like rid different towns of like demons, and that sounds like something that's right up my alley, and I did enjoy it, but not enough to like I put it down and it got put on the backlog, unfortunately. That came out this year. High Score Weekly said I forgot about Banishers, played most of Tell Me Why. That's on the list, going to be playing it. But back to Double Exposure. I have to.
I didn't want to interrupt you. That was the soft. I guess I could have just. I just didn't want to interrupt you. Now I'm just extra interrupting. I'll be right back. So sorry.
Please, somebody clip that.
Keep going.
Please, somebody clip that. But a little bit of the history. I don't know the full extent of why there's 2 different studios that work on the same kind of like linear game-ish. All of these kind of take place in the same world, not Banishers, but I know she's going to crack Pokemon TCG packs. That's so funny. But they, from what I understand, originally when Deck 9 was working on a game for them, I believe it was Life is Strange 2, they still wanted to come out with a continuation of the series, so they hired Don't Nod to start working on Before the Storm, I believe. That may be the wrong order, but that's kind of like the history on the 2 different studios working on that. But additionally to that, it's definitely the same Life is Strange that we all know and love. It's really phenomenal with the visuals. My computer is not necessarily the most like souped up computer. I have pretty like limited graphics and mobility there, but it is beautiful. It's the performance is really great. The audio is phenomenal. I think like the soundtrack of Life is Strange is something that's very stands out to me. Like I could listen to lo-fi on repeat from Life is Strange. High Score Weekly said you're correct, but swap. Square had Deck 9 continue because Donut is kind of slow. Okay, gotcha. Jerica, you didn't miss much. We were talking about the different studios that are over the games.
Okay.
High Score Weekly, Josh, in the chat is correct that they basically Deck 9 continued on with the series because Don't Nod was taking longer with what they were working on.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So
Cool.
they were kind of swip swap even between like continuating the series. So you may notice some differences when you're playing the games. For me, it seems pretty seamless. Like there is here and there, I would say, like, from just looking at the list, I think I prefer Deck 9, actually, the games that I've played so far. True Colors was great. Before the Storm was great. But also, I've enjoyed all of them, so I don't really necessarily have a preference. If you guys have a
way
preference.
to remember who does what. I know you just told us, but I've already forgotten. Because I guess 9, they work so well off each other, like going back and forth.
I'm very curious what that looks like behind the scenes. Deck 9 is True Colors and Before the Storm. And this one, Double Exposure. And Don't Nod is the original Life is Strange 2, and is making Lost Records. So that's kind of where we're at right now. And then
this is my notes now.
I love that. I have to pee and Deck 9.
It's all acronyms. So someone's going to see this and be like, where is the treasure?
Thank you, Dan. Good show. I asked them to clip where you said you were cracking packs and spitting facts. Hell yeah. That's our motto. We love it. But anyways, back to the audio, absolutely great. The music, I could sit and listen all day. One thing that Life is Strange does is they purposely put in little moments where you can kind of like sit and meditate in the game. So like there will be a moment where your character is like Max Caulfield is our main character again, which is really exciting. I think I mentioned this earlier. Where would I rank Double Exposure compared to the others? I'll get to that in just a minute. Hard to say because I haven't finished, but I'll give you like right now. They purposely put in those moments where, and this is one thing I love about it as a franchise, is it's very intentional. I feel like every single moment that you're playing in has like a purpose and a reason why it's there. And literally every decision that you make, if you don't know anything about these games, like it's very much like butterfly effect, where one little voice line, one little choice can change the result of your game, like your whole game. There's usually multiple different versions of the ending. There's usually some big impact moments where you can kind of tell that you're making like an important choice. One thing I do like about this game that's new is it doesn't tell you if it's like a big like decision. It will tell you like, hey, this will impact your later game. But it's not as obvious as in previous games where like you're making like a make or break decision, which I kind of like because I usually try to go with what my initial gut reaction is. And there are some that are timed and some that are not, which is like semi-common in the games. But a couple of the other features that I really like that are new to this game are there's some different photo taking features and tools, which photos are a really big part of Life is Strange with Max's storyline because she is very passionate about photography. She's at this like I guess it's a college that she's at right now. Or like at some sort, I think it's a college where they're at, where she is studying, I believe her master's in photography, something crazy, because they're a little bit older. Their time has passed. I don't know the exact time right off the top of my head, but a good amount of time has passed since the last game, Life is Strange. And in the beginning, you get asked a question from your friend Safi, is one of the other main characters that you're introduced to in the beginning. that essentially determines whether or not you chose at the, again, light spoilers. Well, spoilers for the previous game. You get asked whether or not what the decision you made at the end of Life is Strange, if you know what I'm talking about. It's a big decision that you have to make. You get asked it authentically in the game what decision you made, and that impacts the rest of the game. So I think you could technically change your mind on your decision if you wanted to.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't pull from it, so how would it know? So you have to sort of make a choice.
So no. High School Weekly, you don't have to close your ears. Not spoilers for this game. Not spoilers for Double Exposure, just spoilers for previous games, potentially light. Not really. I'm not telling you what the decision is, but you get to acknowledge that decision pretty early on, and it trickles and impacts the rest of your game. Again, additional features that I really like. You still have your camera. Max is a big photo gal, loves to take photos. Another thing I really like about these games is you have like your journal. You have the journal, which is not an uncommon thing in games, but you learn a lot from your phone. So like not only do you have your journal, you have your text messages. You have, now they introduced this app that it's like there's almost like a social media app that they use, and you can post your photos that you take. So like you can take a photo of, like, if Max is with Safi in the beginning, you can take a photo of her and you could retake it and like make it exactly what you want. You can also do poses. So you can tell the character, and it's all like in the scene. Like it's not like a photo mode, like a typical traditional photo mode. Like it's within the scene. Like there's like voice lines going on like while you're doing it and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Cool.
It's really cool. And you can zoom in, zoom out, you can affect the photo. There's also, of course, double exposure options. And that's really cool. Actually, that's something that they haven't done in previous games. And you can post those photos and interact with things online. And this is kind of a random tidbit, but like in your phone, normally in the past games, you can just like view, you can actually like respond to text messages in the game. It is like little preset ones, but what I also love is like you could choose to not look at any of that and not have it impact anything. But if you do, you unlock other little things along the way. And I think that's really awesome how you can affect your gameplay that much. But those are some of the new things. Absolutely stunning audio. Not just the music, which is always great, but also like just the sound design I think is really cool. Like it's really immersive. And I don't necessarily have the best headphones or like the best setup, but I feel like it still sounds really great. The way that they have like, it almost feels like spatial audio, the way that the game is made. Especially the scene that you open up in where you're in this like abandoned house. Everything's like really echoey and like the music is good.
How's it running on your computer, which used to be my computer? So I'm curious because I know it's got a little bit of an older graphics card. It's
not horrible. I still have to play around with some of the settings. And you can go and look at the stream and see I'm dealing with a little bit of screen tearing. But I'm trying to like mess around with my settings and fix that. But I can see it still looks really great.
I think it was a 1070 that was in.
Yeah, I think so.
Computer. So,
and the game can run. It is. It's keeping up. The game can run. I think it's like 4K 60 FPS like capability. Okay. But I am not getting that exactly. But it still looks good. I know. Either way, it looks great. We still have that, the heartfelt, fun, cheesy dialogue that you get in all Life is Strange games. Like it's very like it's very endearing, right? Like it's intentionally at times cheesy. Some of the things that they do or say, it's very angsty. But I just love that we're following Max again. Like she's such a great character. I feel like I've followed her through so much of her life. It's a little too early for me to say, like, yes, you could just pick this game up. I don't think you should just pick this game up if you haven't played any of them because it's so directly tied to her backstory. I would recommend you at least watch some videos. I wish that you would just play the Life is Strange 1 and Before the Storm. I feel like are both really important to play. They do have remastered versions of those games out, so you don't have to play like the older dated ones. You can play like it with a little bit more updated graphics. So I would recommend that before you play this one. just based on what I know so far. But yeah, it's really great. The decisions that you're having to make already, even in just in the first chapter or first episode, seem very weighted, right? Like it's pretty heavy right out the gate. But the basic premise is that you're at this college, you're studying your dreams, you've been selected for this very like prestigious program, which is what Max has wanted all along. You know, her past is still kind of haunting her from some things. Like you can tell when you read through her journal, how things ended, which I won't say. And like what's happened in between of the last game and this game, because again, there's a time jump, and you can look at all of that. But definitely recommend reading all the extra things. But essentially, your best friend that you've made in this college in this town, that like I think it's actually her roommate, disappears. She disappears, and then she's found murdered, which is like that's like in the description. That's not like a spoiler. But
I was just saying that because like I sort of haven't wanted to dive into this game at all because I am such a big Life is Strange fan as well.
Yeah.
That I don't want to know. Not that you can share with me whatever. I just haven't been personally like looking up stuff because I'm like, as soon as I read one thing, and now after hearing you, I really want to pick it up again.
Mm-hmm. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't worry, that's all I had plans. But there's a lot of stuff that happens, and like you all know with Life is Strange games, there's magic woven throughout. So is she dead? Is she not? Who knows? Like, but that's kind of like the inciting incident. I don't know because I just started it, but that's the game. That's my thoughts so far. If you want to follow along with me, I do plan on streaming some more as I go, but it's really great. As far as where it ranks, I think somebody asked me that earlier. Wild World. I don't really feel like I can give.
Oh yeah,
I know that's kind of a cop out, but
how many hours have you played?
Probably only like 3.
Okay,
I would say very little.
Let me see how long it is.
I have taken a lot of time. I'm definitely like I'm not a completionist in games, but I am like in Life is Strange. You can like there's a lot of things in your environment that you can acknowledge, and you don't know like. Is me going to look at this book on the shelf going to unlock a dialogue option with a character? So I click on everything.
Well, if you are the completionist, it would take you about 21 hours to beat the game on average. Just the main story though, no extras. 10 hours, 57 minutes. So good chunk of game.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
I love having all the episodes all at once. I don't want to wait a couple months because it loses some of the build up. You forget things like. It's like watching a really awesome show like once every couple of months. And that's how Life is Strange 2 was. And that was sort of that pulled me out of that experience a little bit, having to wait.
That makes sense. But yeah, that's my thoughts so far. I would love to talk about it when I finish, and I'll give you my exact rating on how I feel like it lands.
I know, I've just seen on Twitter like a couple of times, like just some people are upset about some things. So I could only imagine what the gamers are mad at. So I'm eager to see after you're done, without giving me specifics, like were you satisfied with it, or do you wish it would have had other situations, but without telling me the answer. That's what I know. For sure. Are you happy or sad about it? Which with the Life is Strange game, we're probably going to be sad about it because always, like, I feel like those games are never like super happy.
Oh, thank you for saying that. Actually, that's one thing I wanted to mention that I totally forgot about. There's a lot of really great like sensitivity options and like accessibility options in the settings.
Cool.
You can I should have sent you the photo, but there's you can actually request in the settings to have a pop-up when there's going to be mentions of suicide, when there's going to be mentions of depression, when there's going to be mentions of abuse, like any sort of like mentions of any of the like things that could potentially be triggering. You can toggle for that to like pop up on your screen, and the option to skip it if you wanted to.
That's
which
great.
I think is really cool
because they didn't give us any warning with the first game. It was like I was like, oh snap, this is a serious game. Didn't see that twist or turn happening. Oh my god! So that's great.
It is. It's heavy, but in a way like just from my past experience, like it's heavy in a way that's very like impactful and like positive. Not positive. I guess like there's a purpose. Like it's very like purposefully
growth
heavy.
And like some, if anything, like whether you've been in an experience that's similar or personally affected, like, you know, it's almost nice to have like an outlet of being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes or experience these emotions in a different way. So like, and I'm glad they have that in there. So that way, if it's a situation that's a little bit too close to home, but you want to play this game, like you have that option. So that's wonderful.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. Because like again, it may be something that like that's upsetting to you, so you just want to be warned about it, and then you can still play through it and just like know what's coming and like be better prepared for it. But yeah. Definitely cool that that's in there. Yeah, that's my thoughts so far.
Well, I can't wait to see how it turns out in comparison to like what we do know about the previous game. So
I'm scared, but excited at the same time. Jerica, what you been thinking?
Listen, I took some notes. I also will not go into spoiler territory with Dragon Age Veilguard, the Veilguard. I keep just saying Dragon Age Veilguard.
That's what I thought it was, actually. I'm not even going to lie.
The Veilguard. Formerly known as Dreadwolf, but they changed the title.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Solas is actually the Dreadwolf. That's not a spoiler.
Okay.
I don't care about spoilers. Inquisition came out 10 years ago.
Literally, that's how I feel about Life is Strange. I'm like, come on, man.
10 years ago, Inquisition came out. Actually got, I think at the Game Awards, won Game of the Year. I need to look at what other games came out, but like I played Inquisition, and you know, I expect from BioWare to have great characters, dialogue options, sort of like Life is Strange. You make a choice and there's ripple effects.
That's cool.
I expect all those things. Yeah. And that's what, you know, BioWare's known for. You got to play Mass Effect, Kayla.
I know. It's on my list.
It's time.
Oh my gosh.
But regardless, yeah, like you make choices that impact things throughout the game. So it allows you to have multiple playthroughs, which I can appreciate. But, you know, me and BioWare have had a weird relationship the past decade. I played most of Inquisition, but I never finished it. And, you know, going into Veilguard, there's immediately a big shift. And we saw from some of the trailers that not only style, but what they've shared with what this game's going to be, the experience is going to be like, is really like more linear. With Inquisition, there was more open areas to explore. On top of that, I just remember the hinterlands, I don't know. That was the worst experience for me. The area was massive. There was things you could implement in the game that were, I don't know, like what's it called when you are doing something in a game, but you have to wait for like hours to pass before you see
real time
reward from it. Yeah, like there was like real time strategy happening with this desk that you would go to make things happen. So you had that. These open areas were it's not really desolate, but like I just remember I couldn't get out of the hinterlands because I felt like there was way too many quests and things to do, and I'm like, what direction do I go in? And like, am I going to the right path? How do I get out of the hinterlands? Finally got out of there, by the way. I started progressing in the story. And yeah, Dragon Age and Mass Effect have always had, to me, very different types of gameplay. With Mass Effect, it's over the shoulder. I don't know why I'm just blanking on what kind of experience of like another game that's like it. I'm blanking. Maybe it'll come to me. But Mass Effect's like over the shoulder, a little bit third person. And of course, you can control, just like in every BioWare game, you can have 2 squad mates, 2 other folks with you and your crew that you can tell, you know, with Dragon Age, I might have someone that's great at healing, a mage with me. And then I have also like this warrior, and they're able to do a lot of melee damage. So like, and you can control both those characters. Same with Inquisition, same with Mass Effect. But with Mass Effect, it's a different experience because like you have a gun and like you can also have abilities, but like it's a shooter. With Dragon Age, it's a little different. And I don't remember, that's one thing I got turned off by with Inquisition was the gameplay wasn't too fun. You could swap 2 other characters, and I always felt like I was in control of too much of the other character. I sort of just like telling them what to do, and I struggled with I'm not an expert, but I really struggled with the gameplay with Inquisition. That game was not fun to play to me.
Yeah.
But Mass Effect's always been fun to play to a certain extent, but also Mass Effect, not the best gameplay, not a fun, like, oh my God, I cannot wait to play this level in Mass Effect. I'm there because I want to hear banter between two squad mates. I want to see what happens next in the story. If I make this decision, like, the characters carry so much. The gameplay's fine in Mass Effect, but it's the story that more of the story. BioWare, really great at telling stories and characters. You've noticed I haven't brought up Anthem from 2019. That was the last game that BioWare has put out.
He who shall not be named. I actually liked it.
Anthem,
I'm not gonna lie.
Hot take. I wish it was a live service game. If it could have had a way better story and then didn't have all these other, not live service, but like they were trying to be Destiny.
Yeah.
You know, and that was just not the direction for them to go in, which brings me to my other point, but what I just remembered, but I'm not going to get into it now. Anthem, the controlling the javelin suits felt so good. Like they really nailed it with that. But the character building, the squad mates was just instantly like the thing that makes BioWare was just not there.
Right, right.
I know you're like, come on, Jerica, you gotta keep going. I'm getting there. I promise.
I derailed you with Anthem.
No,
that was me.
I know. I just want you to think like this is all to come together to say it's been so long since we've had a true BioWare game. I don't count the remake of Mass Effect trilogy. I don't count that, but they technically put that out. But there's been a lot of trust issues with not just me, but everybody with BioWare since Anthem. So, of course, we were hesitant to go into it. The style has changed. They're talking about it's going to be a little bit different from Inquisition, actually a whole lot different. But they took out all the fluff. I'm happy to say they took out all the garbage. They took the trash out, and they focused just on the characters. They focused on gameplay. I can say right now, I'm having a blast playing the game. It's not just the characters you're right. The gameplay is so good. I'm able to know what I'm doing. That also means, and it's not easy either. Like you can control the difficulty, but oh my God. The gameplay is like Mass Effect gameplay got even better. And then they just made it to where it makes sense for Dragon Age. So, and I have a little bit of gameplay I'll play, sort of like don't read the subtitles if you want no story spoilers, but this is like a little side quest I was doing for a character last night. So it's not we're just activating artifacts here. So nothing too serious.
Love the artifact.
Well, that's still Kayla's stream. Hold on. I can't talk and do this at the same time. Multitasking here. All right.
Bobcat CR said the new one feels like 1 and 2 combined.
1 and 2, like Mass Effect or like there's been multiple Dragon Age games, so just clarified. But yeah, like I'm having the best time playing this game. I just want to emphasis on the playing of this game is fun. How many times can I say it? Like this game is a fun game to play. To the point, you know, I'm a big gamer, but also my girlfriend's a huge gamer, where she is just as addicted to this game as me. If anything, she might be more addicted to this than she was. She played through the trilogy, Mass Effect trilogy.
Wow.
Loves it. There's a Kayla, I have a little bit of an outline to help me stay organized here. So give me just a second. I'm going to pull this right back up so I can stay focused because there's a lot to talk about. Little brief, like the story stuff. Do you have to play Inquisition to get into this game? No, they made it really friendly to new Dragon Age players. I just want to make sure I answered that. And as far as like
I was going to ask.
And as far as like the tone of the game, like a lot of people were giving it hate, saying, "Oh, this is they've gotten soft. BioWare's went soft with the new I'm just the worst with names. Dragon Age. Yeah, they've gone soft, but they haven't. They so far some of the stories and quests I've been on, some have had some difficult conversations. It hasn't gotten too edgy just yet, but like I can see where this could go that way. But definitely it feels like in terms of tone, like it's just as serious as like the last Mass Effect to me. Like for real, like it's not soft at all. And and then I talked a little bit about like I'm trying to like also compare it to another just world that it maybe reminds me of. And it's just, you know, I is it called like high fantasy? I don't know. You're in Middle Earth.
I would say so, yeah.
But not Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth. It's like, you know, that kind of environment. It's got dragons in the name, fantasy.
Logan dragon.
There's mages, magic people. I'm doing really bad at explaining it.
You said that it has a great, this might be on your list to talk about, but the character creator, you said it was super good, right?
Yeah, I'm going to get to that. Yeah, it's on my list. It's on my list. That's the whole little mini story in itself.
Love that.
But yeah, the skill tree is actually easy to understand because like it's a RPG. So you get to role play, be a character. I've chosen warrior. I think that's what they were called. Nice. I went the safe route because I'm like, I can use a sword and a shield. But, you know, I'm giving up my ranged abilities if I was a mage where I can cast spells. So that made me a little bit nervous. There's also rogue. It's a little bit more fast paced. I'll have to get Audrey's opinion because she's playing a rogue. But immediately, like, I've had a great time playing as a warrior because you can see in some of my gameplay, like, you can parry now, which is nice. So timing, right when you see, like, the bar turn yellow, that's, like, when you have to parry. And it's Jerica level parrying. I compare this to maybe Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Not Odyssey. Odyssey and then... what's
Mirage?
The one? The Vikings.
No, that's the one.
The Vikings.
Valhalla.
Thank you.
Valhalla. Yeah.
That kind of level of a perfect parry, which it might get different if you like scale up the difficulty a little bit, but it's so fun timing your parries. And then, you know, each of your companions that you bring can also use different types of spells and attacks. And depending on who you bring, they might have an ability that pairs with the other companion's ability, and they can do like a special attack. I forget the word, where it's even more of an attack, a stronger attack. But it's only if those two characters are together and can use those abilities. So you can get
okay. That's cool.
So far,
like I'm getting different playing off of it.
Yeah, and your enemies are going to be different too. So you might choose to go in with some melee attacks, or I might have Balara like use a spell to, I don't know. Distract this wizard as I sneak up around them, that sort of thing. So it's fun. Like, I'm having a good time playing it. I don't know if it's the best thing in the world, but right now it feels like the best thing in the world to me. And I'm hearing that it looks amazing on PC, which I'm sort of bummed I didn't start there, but I just wanted an easy console experience. I didn't want to like the last time when I tried to play Outlaws, I had to update. I spent like 3 hours just trying to get I'll pause this for a sec because the only thing I don't like about the game so far is the freaking photo mode. It's not great.
Is it not good?
It's okay.
That's a big deal to you.
I can't get I wish they would have added like character poses because my character looks like this. If you can't see the stream, but it's just stare. I've made an elf, by the way. Little badass elf.
Sucks.
But yeah,
this is a beautiful game though.
It's beautiful on console, and I can only imagine what it looks like on PC because apparently it is this game scales very well to PC. I think you can even play it on the Steam Deck. You don't have to download any EA bullshit to play it. Amen. EA don't
amen.
They're not in your game. That's the opposite of what EA is game sports. But yeah, I'm hearing great things about it running on PC. I at some point will want to run it on PC just to see the difference. I'm sure it's a lot better. And as far as like performance, I haven't really had any bugs. I haven't had anything crash on me. It's running like, holy shit, did BioWare just put out a great game? Like, is this an amazing game? It's running great. It does what it needs to. If anything, I'm complaining about the loading. Audrey actually brought this to my attention. If I go in and out of my menu to like look at my character, there's like a 2-second black screen like going back and forth. And now I can't unsee it.
Load times.
A little bit of a load time just for your menus. But in the game itself, like I haven't really noticed any lag or anything that takes a long time to do anything. That's the only point. So it runs great. It's efficient. So far, the story is very captivating to me. All the companions are so lovable. Like,
That's great.
I'm so lovable that I'm flirting with a lot of people.
Oh, is there romance options? You have plenty of options.
Yeah. They announced before the game came out that everyone in the game is romanceable. Everybody.
That's awesome.
I mean, you can't romance everybody at once. And what's really cool, and this hasn't happened yet in my game, but apparently other companions can romance each other.
Oh.
So if you don't start giving gifts or bringing people on your missions or doing their special missions, like they all the companions will have like side quests that are like you have to take them with you and go with them to do whatever said thing is. And when you do those quests with them, they learn to, they get a little bit of a liking to you, Kayla.
A little scoochie.
Little Twitter painted, as they say in Bambi. Right?
The skirts. Flying.
Blowing up the skirts. So, but yeah, if you don't get to that sooner, like a companion might start talking to somebody else at the lighthouse, which is your hub area. Almost like the Normandy in Mass Effect is called the lighthouse, and it's an area where all your companions have like their own room where you can go talk to them. Learned last night. There's like the lighthouse is one like castle building, and then outside there's like multiple buildings, and like different characters will be in those rooms, and like apparently there's like the lights outside the building will light up if that character has something to say.
Oh, that's cool.
In Mass Effect and like the other games, like you would just have to go check in on everybody to make sure no one else had something new to say. If not, you might miss dialogue. So.
Okay, so it's kind of like how, for example, with Life is Strange, yes, we're comparing Life is Strange and Dragon Age in the same podcast. It's kind of like where you might find an object in the game that triggers a dialogue option for another character, but you won't know unless you go to the character.
Yes.
That's how it used to be?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Same thing. Like you could miss it if you don't go and talk to them before a certain moment in the narrative. So, but yeah, I'm having a good time playing. I got hooked in very quickly, which is always an added bonus for me. Like if something doesn't hook me quickly, I'm already distracted and playing something else. It just happens.
Yeah.
I feel like it's accessible to anyone. So on top of like, you don't have to have played any of the Dragon Age games to just hop into this and have a great time. They've done really well. Like little bit of a recap for the last game. You could even go in and make some choices from the last game. I don't see how those impact me just yet. But absolutely.
Who knows?
Phenomenal game so far. I love that it's
how many hours?
I'll look at
I
think it's around 80 hours. I think it's about 80 hours with like not everything, but doing some of it. God, what was I gonna say? It just left me. I should have had another Red Bull. No. I just literally went out the other way. I don't remember what I was gonna say. I'll get back to the character creator, though.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say I was in the character creator for like 3 hours. Only not in one character. I had went back and forth. Which I did learn that later you can go to a mirror and change your look anytime. So, very neat. The most diverse character creator I've ever seen in my life. A lot of inclusivity. If your character is trans, like things I've never seen in a game before were in this character creator. Awesome. The best looking hair I've ever seen.
Hair is important to you. I know that.
Hair is so important. I will say, little bit of the hair's beautiful, and I found a great mullet for my elf.
Oh.
If you notice, I already forgot the character's actual name. The main character, everyone calls you Rook. I guess short for rookie, maybe. But yeah, my Rook has a mullet. But I was a little disappointed with like medium hairstyles. Sometimes I like a medium hairstyle. It's either like long or like short, like here.
I feel like games struggle with that.
Not a lot of this length. You know?
Yeah.
I usually go for, I call it the Ellie in games. I always look for the Ellie hairdo from The Last of Us.
Yeah.
I love that look. A lot of games implement that. It's very strange. Like the Ellie is there. I like to look for something like that. And they sort of have a hairstyle that's like that in the game, but the hair is just so much longer. So I went with the mullet.
Yeah.
but God, it's beautiful. You can get so detailed with like your character can have like cataracts in like the left or right eyeball.
That's crazy.
And it's I literally spent at least 3 hours just in the character creator. So, but you don't have to do that. You can go back anytime. So
you can go back and even change like your appearance.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Like,
actually.
I guess if you like, even considering like role playing, like if your character, and I think this is really cool, is being able to experience, like you can change how your character, like sexuality. I mean, there's a lot of, romanceable options here. You're role playing a character. It might be someone that you can relate with personally. It might be yourself in this character's shoes. But literally could go and change if I was playing a male character or a female character, which is amazing.
That's really cool.
You can change your pronouns at any time. You can change also like the inflection in your voice. Like you can change your voice also.
I love voice options in games. I always think that's very interesting.
And all of that's customizable when you go back to the lighthouse and go to your mirror. So you can change that.
Okay.
Man, I wish I could remember what I was going to say earlier because it was sort of cool, but I guess not. I
interrupted you to ask about.
No. An idea shouldn't leave the brain that quickly, Kayla. The fact that I can't remember it is sort of terrifying.
I understand. I've been there every day of my life.
But yeah, overall, first impressions, I can't put it down. It's super fun. Oh, I remember. It came back. I'm thinking of things what I love about it. Inquisition. I even can say Mass Effect Andromeda was trying to do too much with open world. They both came out sort of like when the bigger the better. And I said I love Mass Effect for how linear a lot of the quests are. I don't need these open worlds that are, if it's an open area, it needs to be rewarding for exploring. It needs to not be desolate and boring. And just there just to say I could walk 50 feet that way. I don't know. That's not really a long distance. I could walk a half mile this way and the game is still loading.
It needs to be purposeful. Purposely open.
And one thing I will say that this game relates, another game that it reminds me of and how they don't master it quite like this, but it's close. But like I think of God of War, Ragnarok, like 2018 God of War and like Ragnarok as well. Just how they do semi-open areas. Like they have different cities and environments you can visit from the map. Like you could fast travel these locations. You can't walk to them. You have to teleport or use the magical system that we use here.
Yeah, the tree.
I won't go into it because I want it to like, I don't know if it's like not a huge spoiler, but you have a way of transporting anywhere that you want to go. So it's not open in that aspect, but you can teleport to any of these areas and they are pretty open, but you're rewarded with puzzles, obviously looking for money or collectibles, and your characters get abilities that you might have to utilize their abilities to get to an area in the map. Like you can't get to this place unless this character moves this huge boulder so you can climb up it. So like thinking back,
that's actually really cool.
For what's the first Jedi game? And I'm sure the second one's like this too. I always forget the title. I always say like Fallen Order.
Jedi Fallen Order is the first one, and then Jedi Survivor is the second one.
But also sort of like that kind of game where you see things that you might not be able to get to right away until you discover a companion or get an ability. But there's a little bit of that in this game too. If you're exploring, you might see something you just can't get to yet. So a lot of
I love that. That's one of my favorite things about the Jedi Survivor games.
It encourages you to like go back to these places and just explore. So like I'm literally not just getting lost in the character creator. I'm getting lost in these semi-open areas too. And I'm not even doing the story. Like I'm literally just exploring and looking around to see, is there a chest up there? Oh my God, there is. I'm so glad I walked up this way. So they did good. The open areas are really fun to explore and they're not boring. So thank you, BioWare, for slimming it down, making the quests very linear, but like focused and not putting any of those real-time things at the desk or at the table, the war table. I'm so glad there's not a war table. Thank God.
Boundless Gamers, first time chatter, so welcome. Jerica did answer this question a little bit earlier, but maybe she can give like a 2-second spiel. Boundless Gamers said, how does this game stack up with the previous Dragon Age game?
Much better. In my opinion, I was not in love with Inquisition, never even beat it. Not to say it wasn't I've heard it was a phenomenal game going through it. I ended up watching the YouTube videos to like know how the story plays out. Because I'm like, I'm never going to beat this. It's just too much game. There's like too much to do in it. That's actually why, not because it wasn't super fun. It was like, I'm just overwhelmed. And, but no, with this, it's a little bit more approachable, a little bit more focused on what you're doing. So I'm not as scattered and overwhelmed. But yeah, for me, immediately, this game is much more fun to play. Even the combat is fun to play. Like it's a fun game, not just an experience or a movie. BioWare magic, dialogue.
Game.
Like it's a fun game to play too.
That's awesome. I have my personal history with the Dragon Age games is I've never played any of them. So one of my questions that I'm glad you answered was, would this be a good one to jump into? And it sounds like the answer to that was yes. So I think I will be picking it up. Do you see yourself like sticking and going through like the whole thing, or do you see yourself like putting it down and maybe picking it back up later? What do you think?
Oh, I'm all in. Like, I'm so sad I actually have to work tomorrow because I like just want to play this tonight. I was telling Kayla, like, the past couple of nights, nothing has hooked me this hard in a while to where I'm literally staying up to like 1 a.m. playing because I just cannot stop.
Yeah, that's always super fun.
I didn't think this was going to be that fun. I didn't. So, yeah, that's awesome. Good job, BioWare. If you can make Mass Effect just the same way, please let it just be the same way. You know, I'm not, they've already said they're not going to go with the stylized like approach. So like, this is definitely a different type of artistic vision that was different from the previous Dragon Age games. They've confirmed that the like Mass Effect will keep a more realistic graphic experience. But yeah, if they keep with this formula, I think we're in for an also a great treat with the next Mass Effect game.
Which is very exciting. And I am going to play those. I have them downloaded and I want to stream them with you because I think that would be so much fun.
I would love to be your backseat gamer for this. So,
backseat gamer, boys. Yep. Maybe one last question before we go. High Score Weekly said, self-plug, but I did a Dragon Age soundtrack listening party stream the other night, and he didn't really like it.
I don't
Do you
remember
like the soundtrack?
It's a great thing to bring up. I don't really... The music hasn't stood out to me enough to really tell you.
Yeah, I think that, like...
For either game, the new one and the last one, the music's been enough to where... I don't notice if it's bad, and I also don't notice if it's amazing. So I guess it's probably in the middle for the soundtrack. The Mass Effect, though, soundtrack's like ingrained in my brain.
Well, you said, do you plan on streaming any of your playthrough?
Yeah,
so we can watch alongside you.
Yes, I got to figure out what days I'm doing that because I wanted to do it initially, but I wanted to take you don't often get to play a BioWare game, and I'm like, I'm technically on vacation. Like, I took vacation time, and I'm like, I sort of just want me and this game to be together for a little bit. Also, I didn't want to look like a noob trying to figure out the controls because like the last Dragon Age game was a little bit of a challenge, so I was a little nervous. But now that I've got an idea of what's going on and I'm pretty decent, I feel a little bit more comfortable streaming. As long as you're cool with spoilers, but I'll definitely post like when I'm streaming and try to say like where I'm at in the game, just so, which might be sort of hard to do, but I'll try my best. Regardless, there might be spoilers when obviously watching me play. So
right, yeah, that's the same with me when I'm streaming.
I don't know why I just gave a disclaimer. Duh, if you haven't played, it's definitely going to spoil you. So no, you know what I mean.
But you can kind of like, I know I've seen some people when they do that, like kind of put in the title or like somewhere about like kind of where they're at, like you said, because it might be fun to like, if you're already they're already past you to see like how you react to certain sections.
My quest is sort of queued up now. So like I'll maybe just put in the title what quest I'm doing with who. So that'd be pretty neat.
I like that. Yeah. Well, I am glad that we are both playing. Like, it's not very often that we are both playing a current game that's like out right now.
Yeah.
And I know you said you were hoping and kind of disappointed that it came out at the same time because we both you can't play. You could play both at the same times, but I think it's kind of hard with the scope of both of the games to play both at the same time.
Absolutely.
So it's cool that we get to spend our 150th episode. If you're in here later, like 150, big milestone that we get to spend it talking about new games that we're both really enjoying. I'm glad we both are having good experiences.
And get to finally say, like, BioWare put out a great game, and the next one is going to be Mass Effect. Isn't that wild? They're working on it, like, all in. They're diving into the next Mass Effect. I am that sicko. I brought it up last time. I'm the sicko that was just like, even when they were putting, like, the Metacritic scores and, you know, announcing, like, oh, it's gone gold, I was like, yes, that means they're done with it and they can just work on Mass Effect, which is amazing. I'm just selfish like that. But I don't want to be selfish anymore because, like, this game's special.
Oh, well, you're special, Jerica.
I am. I'm very much so.
In a loving
My
way.
notes.
And we have to go back and watch the clip that somebody clipped where you had that I have to pee.
And then all my notes about all to keep up with what studio's doing, which Life is Strange game. So I have that in code now.
The random
9,
things
True
that you
Colors. Oh, what's BS? What's BS? Sorry, forgot.
Banishers. Before the Storm.
God, I forgot the O. I need to put a little O in there. Hold on. Before the Storm. But there we go.
This is the kind of content you get when you get to watch our stuff. It's
a struggle sometimes.
It's the beauty of who we are as gamers. Which, if you don't go, like I said earlier in the episode, go follow us on all of our platforms so that you can we have some video on demand coming for the last couple of things that we've done with our spooky stream, which is hilarious, and you should watch it because it's me and Jerica are a hot mess.
Very much so.
Playing Don't Scream. So you should check it out. But I did you have any other closing thoughts, Jerica, before you go? We should play Dragon Age.
I wish I could go and play more Dragon Age right now, but it's actually I gotta force myself to get sleepy. So I have to get up and go vote in the morning.
Exactly.
Time to vote,
which you should all exercise your rights.
Please go vote.
Yes. And on that note, thank you guys all for joining. Thank you for 150 amazing episodes. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye. See you next time. Goodbye.